live. At least I hope we are. Sometimes there's a problem kickstarting, starting some of these streams. So we'll see. We'll see in a bit. Anyways, what's up, everybody? I'm G. Mr. Drew, here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 238. And on this one, we are finished with the portraits. We are going to start with some prop studies, like I was saying I was going to do. And the time has finally come. So let's do it. Yeah, so just like I did some like airplane studies and console studies, and then like, different poses and all these other things. This is just going to be like another one of those where, like, on this series, I was just studying like girdles and fur kilts and things like that. Just like kind of waistline clothing, and it's actually very important. Just like they say, like, oh, exercise your core because the core is important. Like, it's amazing how clothing and things like that are very focused around the core area of your body. Very interesting stuff. But anyways, just like I did all these sort of studies, I wanted to do I'm calling it prop studies. I mean, to be completely honest, it's kind of like a weapons study, but I'm breaking weapons down. Hopefully in a way that's like kind of cool, because I hope like this stuff doesn't like get me in trouble and stuff like that. I guess like, I understand I'm on Twitch right now, but on YouTube, they they're starting to flag some of my like old videos from like 10 years ago, because they're breaking some sort of like, oh, this isn't safe for children, even though I don't know why. Because the videos are like way old, 10, 15 years old. So it's like, okay, like that's fine. But I don't know. Like, this one clearly looks like a gun, but it's not a full gun, and then these could just be like something else, you know what I mean? Instead of the top portion um, of a firearm. So I don't know if like all this stuff is like bad. Okay, looks like we are streaming. So let's hope that it isn't. Uh, I understand if it is, like later on down the line, like something comes of it, but you know, as long as nobody like reports it, I guess. But I could see why somebody would. We'll just see how it goes. Let's pray that I don't lose my channel. Anyways, I got Max Dude playing Ghost of Tsushima in the background. There's like an hour left on this, so I can finally finish this stream. And I'm way behind on his streams. There's like a bunch of Guilty Gear Strive stuff. He has the Alien Fireteam stuff that he's continuing to do. And it's like, oh man, because Jacko came out and everything. So there's like a lot to catch up on. I know Sphere Hunter's been playing No More Heroes, and I said I wanted to know more about that. So I definitely want to go back and watch those streams that she did. So there's just so much to do. So, and so little time. Let's let's cut off this intro and let's get into it, man. This is Max Dude doing Ghost of Tsushima, the Iki Island stuff.
They were helping us. Not so bad after all.
Oh, and stay safe.
Now, I wonder.
Upgrade. Taking care of business.
Okay.
No. Let's approach this from this angle.
I won't kneel, and I won't drink your damn poison, whatever it is. I've heard what she does to people.
See, I'm trying to remember what I was doing the night, so where I cut these things off. And I should probably.
Whoa, uh-oh. That was one hell of a helmet you had there, buddy.
Where's you? Just a regular dull white marker. Just to kind of erase some of this excess pencil sketching.
Well, I guess that works out. God damn.
So what I did here was I kind of disassembled the firearm a bit by dividing things up. The way I'm going to be doing this is to divide things up by like the handles and then everything else that's not the handle. And I'm gonna do this across the board.
It looked kind of cool.
And yeah, just to see where the handle ends and the actual chamber and all that other stuff begins.
Some nights, I feel Riku watching. I can hear his pet monkey sucking marrow from bones. I know it sounds crazy.
Okay.
I swear, those filthy monkeys are watching us.
Do you remember anything about the night of the mutiny? Anything that could help me find his final resting place?
We were anchored just off the northeastern shore. There was something under the water. Something glowing.
The moon's reflection?
Moon wasn't out that night.
Glowing water. It's not much, but it will have to do.
Slice and dice these monkeys now. Rest for nightfall?
Okay. So yeah, this gun,
Bye-bye!
this handle kind of ends here and jumps up, and you see everything. It jumps up from there. So
Oh, demon horse, slightly possessed. Don't worry about it.
okay. Oh wow, so this has kind of like a really short muzzle on it. Extremely short. Wow.
Swank. Yeah. Forget that armor. No, I don't think I will. I hear cheeky monkeys. Ah! It's the glowing shore, all right.
Oh, sorry. I'm bumping the camera.
Hey. See this? Hold on. Aha! You'll risk life and limb here. Don't worry about this.
Okay.
Beneath the water. Jacob was blinded. Maybe he saw just enough to follow the light. Or his monkey did.
I'm now in the water. Oh, good. This monkey looks mad cheeky. That looks like the right way. No, not the right way. face the right way. Some glowy shits.
Okay. There we are. I found my place. See, it's weird because the handle kind of like the back end of this chamber is like really big.
How did I actually make it? Somewhat. Yeah, these are the way it look like macaques. That is the proper
Because
pronunciation.
the trigger and all that would be like
Motifs.
right here.
Did you come here, Riku?
Mysterious cave.
I love
Are
this.
the monkeys just chilling? Did you make this fire monkey? What the shit?
The passage. Locked. If I light the brazier, maybe I'll find a way through.
Okay.
So this is very dark. Oh, this is cool. Dark as shit, though.
Need a light. How can I start a fire? These are flaming arrows.
I can actually just, pull out the arrow. And the shit is officially lit. Yeah, scared the shit out of me. Shit. I'll pull my flaming arrow out while I'm in the water.
This will come down like that.
This gonna be that good shit? Not really.
Looks like they were killed recently. But by whom?
Weird and creepy.
There we go.
Looks like a quest box.
There we go. Now I'm starting to get somewhere with this.
Slightly creepy. Anything in here?
What's up, Kickstand?
Oh my god. you
Doing good,
freaking
man. How
fucking
about yourself? I'm
Down away.
moving on to doing some prop stuff, so hopefully some good comes of it over the next week or so that I'm gonna be spending on these things.
Oh fancy shit happening. Monkeys made all this, yes. Dang. Some Pirates of the Caribbean shit here.
Another right in here.
There's treasure here, alright, but I can't find my way back out. Not with this twisted ankle. Feels like I've been lost out here for days with those monkeys, always following me, watching me in the dark. I should never listen to Kashiro's stories. Oh, I'm fine.
Absolutely terrible. Well, that's not good. Toaster bathtub.
Kill the monkeys.
Oh my god.
Okay. Sorry. Didn't realize it would be that aggressive. Like the monkeys on fire. Bruh.
Well, that sucks. I mean, what could be, what could be so bad to have you in such a dark place like that, man?
Because there's no reason to be pissed that I lit your friend on fire. There's no need to be upset.
Yeah, see, just like next dude says, no need to be upset. Too much to explain. Well, it sounds like your head is just busy. Like you got a lot of thoughts in your head. Kind of almost anxiety associated
Some big
type of issues.
okay, whoa. Last thing I saw was
The way I usually deal, because I get the same shit.
After that, the world dissolved into blobs of light and
Well, at
shadow,
least I used to.
deep and all-encompassing
But-
blackness that years of agony. I have learned to love the cool, damp dark, but the memory
It's,
of those faces fires my soul. There is yet time.
Let me
for
let all
revenge
this
on
fucking talking
savor
go in
their
the
cries of
background.
pain, the
Talking
time
all
comes,
loud and
even
shit. I got the
if
volume
I
up too
want
high.
to see their hateful faces.
Okay. But
Very
maybe
good
exercise, man.
Someone's hoard.
You know, your body has all this energy, and it's spending all that energy on thinking because, you know, there's a lot going on in life in
Seems
general.
important.
And, yeah, man, I think you might be surprised how much, like, exercise and just tiring your body out, and what that can do. You know what I mean? Your brain won't be thinking shit
I don't know, man, I'm sorry.
once you tire your body out to the point where you just want to sleep. Where it's like, oh, I overdid it with the physical activity. I am going to go to sleep now because I need to. And then boom, you just pass out. And sleeping is definitely better than hurting yourself. I know it's the answer a lot of people don't like to think about.
That was very bright. My eyes. Who lit these lanterns? Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know how much exercise you're getting in gym class. I just know that I never got exercise out of gym class. You get activity. And that's if you spend your time actually doing the active stuff. I don't know. You know, like I'm not there, but. Well, then just go to sleep, man. Like if being awake is too much at the moment, go to sleep.
Sick.
You know? I mean, at the end of the day, you're the only one who can
You're blind. This isn't a fair fight.
who can fix your problems.
It is not.
So just deduce what the problem is and fix it. And if it's awake, and being awake, go to sleep.
I think I don't have much HP here.
But yeah, if it's all like brain activity, like your brain doesn't shut off,
Okay. All right. This is about
you gotta give your brain something to focus on.
Exactly. exactly what I want.
It's like that Superman movie when he's in the closet, when he's a kid and he's in the closet and in school, and they had to call the mom to bring him in. He's like, "Oh, it's too loud. There's too much stuff going on." And she goes like, "Well, make it small. You know, focus on one thing."
Shit.
And then he did that, and he was able to just kind of, what was it, focus on her voice or whatever.
No.
Like that's all that it seems like.
Okay, I don't have a lot of help. Don't have a lot
As
of
soon as
help
you could
here.
teach yourself to
So we're
focus
gonna figure
on
this shit
one
out.
thing, and then you make that one thing that you focus on something that's good that you want to actually focus on,
Fuck. Okay. This is practically
then you ain't gonna have no problems. I mean, problems are always gonna be there.
Ow.
Even people who don't seem to have problems. It's just they know how to deal with them.
Jesus.
Stalling your thoughts, I don't know what that means.
Oh, that really hurt. Need more resolve to heal. I certainly do. Jesus. Here we go, boys.
Preventing them?
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I know what stalling is, and I know what thoughts are, but I don't know how one stalls
It's cool that
thoughts.
you can parry the parry, yeah. It's dope. You killed the blind man and took his clothes. Due to the power of the fearsome monkey
But-
spirit, pushing its owner to embrace risk and danger. What?
Maybe that's part of the problem.
Risk and danger. I have a little hat. I have like a little hat.
Here we go.
Wow, cute. Imbued with the power of fearsome pushing its owner. Regular parry disabled. Perfect parry becomes a chain of 2 attacks. And perfect dodge also damages nearby enemies. All resolve gains increase by a moderate amount. Perfect parry and perfect dodge windows are increased by a moderate amount. This shit is balls to the walls gear. This is some bust my ass kind of gear here. Yeah.
So it's a transference of energy. You're not stalling your thoughts, you're just having other thoughts.
You have to go upgrade it. You just do.
It kind of sounds like saying like, "Oh, instead of thinking of something bad, I'm thinking of something good." Well, yeah.
Let's make a
I wouldn't say that's
this.
stalling your thoughts. That's just you changing what you choose to think about, which is exactly what you have to do. You know, you could choose to think about good things that make you feel good, or you could choose to think about bad things that make you feel bad. Anybody and everybody can do it.
Predator hides.
But a happy person will tell you, you know, we all want to be happy. A happy person will tell you, like, yeah, think positive thoughts. Like, everyone can recognize a bad thought. Just don't
Main hit when assassinating from grass.
just recognize them and then stop
Revives you
them.
at 50% your maximum
They're always going to
health.
be there. They're never going away. You know what I mean?
Bonus damage will have 50% health or less.
Like, I got crap thoughts every day. I mean,
Huh.
I'm often talking about how
I'll do 2 additional.
how I'm unhappy that I can't,
Okay, so
at the
we
very
need
least,
to-
be an independent artist and just survive on like basic minimum amount of
Increase
money
to stagger damage?
due to, you know, with my
Let's do one
artwork.
that is,
Like, that frustrates me to
charm
no
of-
end, you know?
Bible didn't sound bad.
But, you know, it doesn't
Charm of-
help to sit there and linger on those thoughts. So I do something about it. It's
Divine
like,
healing too.
you know, I
sure.
do my artwork here and I, you know, stream it to the world to, you know, show the world, hey man, look at me over here, I'm doing this stuff. You know, I always start and end my videos with like, oh, you know, follow, like, subscribe, supports, and all that other stuff, is because it's like, man,
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go with that one.
like,
Revival one?
extremely lonely over here to have to do all this artwork or to feel unsuccessful, you know, to
Increase the melee damage.
see all these other artists, and it's not all, most artists are unsuccessful, but to see that there are artists who are successful lets me know that you can be successful as an artist, or anybody can be, including myself,
Right?
but I'm not.
Yeah, charm of bludgeoning.
And
Give
it
that a
makes
shot.
it's frustrating to me. Now I could sit there and cry about it all day
Escape.
and
Oh,
not
no.
help the
I
situation,
have to find my
or
way out now.
I can choose to
Monkeys are
like
pissed.
do my best and spend my life and make my life's work escaping that
Well, that was
negative thought, escaping, you know,
Easy enough.
with action and thinking good and thinking like, hey, you know what? Maybe somebody really will appreciate all these character designs that I can do. Maybe somebody actually will hire me to draw their characters. Maybe they wrote a story and they just can't draw for shit. And they're like, this guy can draw. Like, let me reach out to him and see if
Oh shit.
he's willing to draw my characters, my stories, my world with his style.
Stories in Puna's refuge.
But that's never gonna happen if I just sit around, never do my art, never put myself out there, and never make that offer, you know, to say, hey, I'm an artist and I'm here and I'm willing to do this, like, let's work. You know what I mean? I say that on every stream ad nauseum. And honestly, doing that is better than
Jesus Christ.
where I was at a few years ago, where I had realized my entire life's work, all the art that I've done in my entire life, never amounted to anything. You know, to this day, I still struggle with thoughts about, you know, growing up as an artist and being the odd guy. You know, every day, every single day, I sit there and I gotta batter those thoughts out of my head of like, you know, having my dad shit on my art and my dreams and everything like that, especially since I got this talent from him.
Ow.
My dad was an artist and I know nothing about him and his art and his opinion on it. I just know that he dissuaded me all the time, or would always critique it in a bad way, all the way back to when I was a kid. Like I said, I started getting paid to draw. Kids would pay me their lunch money to draw Looney Tunes when I was in 2nd grade. I've been drawing a long time. And yeah, my dad, I was watching Dragon Ball Z and I started making my own characters. I never read a comic book until I was 16. So this is long,
God damn it.
you know, I based all of like any medium out there that I had was only on cartoons and what was shown on TV, because the internet wasn't really a thing.
It's crazy.
It was kind of, but not really, you know what I mean?
Follow-up attack is nuts.
Like the internet wasn't what it was wasn't what it is today. There we go.
Ooh, very cool.
And, you know, so I watched Dragon Ball Z a lot, and I had one day, something I think about daily, and I always have to bat this thought out of my head, but I know I also have to confront it, is the thought, you know, I had made up a whole bunch of my own characters back when I was in like elementary school, like 5th grade, let's say.
Bird.
And, you know, I went to go show my dad, you know, and I'd made like 4 or 5 characters or something like that. And they looked like Dragon Ball Z characters because that was my inspiration and the influence at the time. And I was like, you know, so excited because I like created something. I felt like I created something because it wasn't me drawing Goku or Gohan or Krillin. You know, it was me drawing my own characters. Didn't really know what to do with it, but I was happy that I had done it. And, you know, he was just like, it looks like the cartoon. You can't do that. And then it just made me feel like shit, made me feel like I didn't do anything, made me feel like I didn't accomplish anything, made me feel like, and then, you know, fast forward, you know, 25 years, and now there are people who are making a living off of recreating Dragon Ball Z art and redrawing Dragon Ball characters, and there's so many fan arts out there, and even fan animations where people are taking the Dragon Ball story in the direction that they wanted to. All things that I always think like, man, I could have did that had I just been supported, had I not been like shat on and dissuaded at, you know, such an early age, such a young age. I was, you know, I was sitting there doing like big man shit, and I had a, you know, my dad sat there and shit on it and made me feel like, oh, well then this isn't good, because if my dad doesn't like it, then it's not good. Because obviously my dad knows what's best for me, because that's what we're raised to believe, is that your parents have your best interests at heart. So if he's telling me that it's no good, then it's no good. And then I immediately stopped doing that. You know, I remember, again, I didn't read a comic book until I was 16. So X-Men and Batman, those were cartoons to me. They weren't comic books. I understood comics existed, but I had never seen one.
How good is sake? Hell,
And, you know, I didn't have comic book stores. I think about that all the time.
Alcohol's giving me crazy headaches now, like immediate headaches.
Like, I got a shit ton of negative thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, I could rattle on for the rest of my life talking about the shit thoughts, shit things that have happened, and the lack of support that I've had in my life, and how me being an artist means that I'm never going to be successful, because that's what I've been led to believe. But I've always had to fight against that shit. That's what I do here. Like, I know I'm always like, oh yeah, we're gonna draw a character today, we're gonna draw a portrait. I'm drawing props now. I'm drawing, you know, I'm doing some prop studies, doing like, you know, chambers on guns and sights and lasers and all this other shit, just to try to see if I can understand weapons. So that way I can create my own, but I need to understand them in order to create my own. So it's like I just do whatever the fuck here. But all of this is to feed the monster that I am, the monster of, like, you know, that kid who was told that my work isn't good because it's unoriginal. So I set out at a very young age to try to learn what making original art is. And it led me down the path of all art. And realizing at the end of the day, like, oh, all art can be anything. And art could have been what the fuck I was doing when I was a kid. I just had a shit dad to shit on my art and steer me down a path, not the right path, not the wrong path, but just a path that obviously didn't work out because of how unhappy I am with how unsuccessful as an artist I am today as to where I feel like I should be. I've been drawing my entire fucking life, man. I was in 2nd grade drawing Dragon Ball Z characters and Looney Tunes and Warner Brothers characters like Animaniacs and shit for lunch money. Like I've been drawing my entire life.
Depending on the one you get. If you get
Like, how the fuck did I, you know, and I look at all these other successful people who draw for a living, and I listen to their stories, and I'm like, how the fuck, how, their stories sound exactly like mine, except I was even just listening to one today on a Proko, Proko on YouTube. He has a video where he features an artist drawing superhero heads. He was talking about it. All their stories sound exactly like mine. The only difference was that they had support. And it fucking kills me.
It's like spicy water.
It fucking kills me. Not even because I want to sit here and say, oh, I wasn't supported. No. Like, my mom supported me. My mom would bring home construction paper from her job. and have me draw on loose leaf paper. So that way I had a clear sheet of paper to draw on instead of lined paper from the notebooks. Like, but that was the extent that of the support that she can give me. And those are those old pictures. You can go to my website and look at my old like binders. That's why all that stuff is on loose leaf. You could even see the Equity Bank that no longer exists stamp in the corner on the back side of the paper. Like, it's kind of like a shadow because obviously it's on the back side of the paper. But it's like, that's the shit. That was the extent of the support I had, was just to continue drawing, hence why I drew so much. But never knowing what to draw, because I wanted to draw Dragon Ball Z, I was inspired to, or I wanted to draw anime or draw those characters, and I was immediately shot down from doing that the second that I started it. I was so, you know, I created like Fireman, Iceman, Rockman, all that shit long before I ever read a X-Men comic, or you know, X-Men wasn't even really playing on TV by the time I was growing up. It had already like gone and passed. Like, I was more of a Batman, Superman guy. And you know, I didn't know Iceman from X-Men. I just created my own. I didn't know the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. I just created them on my own. And then come to find out, like, later on when I got older, like, oh, all these things already exist. Not only do they exist, but a million other people who are 100 times richer than me have already done it. They own it. And I'm going to have to create, like my dad said, something a little bit more original. But he never taught me or went out of his way to show me what creating something original is. Like, I had to just figure that shit out on my own. And it's hard when you're a kid and you're growing up and you're trying to make friends and you got to live life and you still got to play outside. And I still had chores and I still had homework, and, you know, I was striving to make all A's on my report cards. You know, I busted my ass.
What are you doing here?
And none of, you know, I have so much frustration about how none of it ever amounted to anything. It's just like, I'm like this guy who could really draw well, who ain't shit.
Okay.
You, like, yeah, I got really frustrating thoughts. So, you know, I've learned to recognize those things. And I've learned to, you know, over the years, push my mind away from the negativity, even though it's right there at the fucking door.
I think you could actually change the look of gear, right?
And yeah, man, it's, how do I draw props?
Jesus, it's getting crazier.
Right now, I'm just studying the Metal Gear 5. But yeah, just to say, like, you know, I've had to teach myself how to beat these negative thoughts out of my head that have haunted me a lot of my life. So I apologize if, you know, when I talk to you or anybody else about like having negative thoughts or anything like that, I'm not really like super engaged with it or anything. It's just like, oh man, I wish I could tell this guy like how to go about doing it, but I also know like it's going to be up to every individual in order to fix their own individual problems, you know.
Can I like roll the helmet back visually?
So I do my best to try to like put the ball in your court to beat out the negative thoughts and to get out of there. It's not like I don't have them. I just choose not to focus on them. I acknowledge them, and then I try to focus on something better. Like, you know, maybe today's the day where I do a stream and I'm actually happy with the result of the artwork, or, you know, in this case, the props. Which, yeah, again, I'm just studying Metal Gear 5 art book, or Metal Gear V, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the body armor.
The art book in there has, check this out.
Yeah, I gotta go to the helmet and do it. You know what I want to
So,
get on this gear? I want to get,
here's the art book, and way towards the back, they have
Different color.
all these weapons. This is the most crazy display of like an array of weapons. Are we blurry? Oh yeah, I'm flipping pages, so it might get blurry.
Can't change it.
But everything from rifles to handguns to submachine guns, semi-autos, you know, sniper rifles, and grenade launchers, things like that. It's all the weapons and all the attachments in the game, and even the textures, like the breakdown, like differences with like metal pieces and wood pieces and things like that.
I see. I see. So they just separate them. Wait, was there only two?
So, you know, a long time ago,
Yeah, this takes a while to load.
well, I mean, if I had to break down how I'm drawing this, so I'm just studying these things, and the way that I'm choosing to break them down is by drawing the handle of the weapon alone without the actual upper part of the chamber, where you know the hammer cocked back and all that other stuff. And so just drawing the handle, understanding the handle for what it is, because that's what defines the gun, and then obviously the bullets and all that. Like weapons are a really integrated system.
That's actually what I'm kind of.
But you know, dividing those chambers up with the attachments and everything like that, and seeing how these attachments are engaged with the handle themselves, and breaking it down this way is going to help me understand like the anatomy of a weapon more so. It's kind of like when you break down anatomy and you have to understand skeletons and then muscles, and then you know if you want to put clothes on your characters, you have to study clothes. And now it's like, okay, skeleton, muscles, and then like lighting on the skin, and then you know, clothing over the body. You know, there's a whole lot to it. So that's basically what I'm trying to do here, is like treat the handle like the skeleton, and
There we go. Sword kits.
treat the chambers like the muscles or something, the body over the skeleton, and then
It's a crazy looking thing.
all the attachments like scopes and lasers and things like that, or extensions, or you know, any sort of like all the little extra additions that they can have.
Cool.
Treating those like the muscles on top of the skeleton.
Of course.
And then like I'm not going to be coloring them, like I'm not rendering them out. Like I did a little bit of lighting here that on the first night. I don't know how much rendering I'm going to be doing. But
Still pretty sick though.
yeah, I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. Like I said, I just want to kind of understand these things, so that way I can make my own.
I'm gonna go fight some shitheads.
But it's like what I said when I was working on like the when I was working on like the fighter pilots and the divers and things like that, how the military stuff tends to have like the best kind of like structural build to them, just because anytime anybody invents anything, the only thing that is going to bring it to life is money. And you know, unfortunately a lot of money is put towards defense and offense. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because obviously we want to protect lives, but like the defense and offense of like defending oneself, protecting oneself, and Oh shit. So yeah, these are, I don't know if these are the actual real weapon names that's in this book, or if they had to like not, you know, make up their own names. But obviously we can recognize these enough.
Fuck. God damn.
Oof. But yeah, about that rant. I exercise a lot just to quiet my mind. I exercise 6 days a week, so if I ever skip a day, it, you know, it's pretty significant. And it, you know, I spend the rest of the day
Is that it?
like kicking myself
Okay.
for having done that.
Just fall.
Which would only be the reason why I'm like, I would push that on people.
Watch that guy fall.
You know, there's nothing but being able to benefit from exercising, especially if you exercise within your ability. You know, that's more important. You know, you don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You don't have to be like the CrossFit guy next door. You just gotta just be a little bit more active than you are, and
Will you give me a goddamn break?
you'll find like the serotonin
Ow,
feed,
my legs! Don't worry about it.
and
I have insane amounts of resolve.
and everything like that. Like it really helps. At least it helps me, and it seems to help a lot of other people as well.
Jesus! Jesus Christ! Oh, fuck! Didn't have anything I thought that I had. Dude. This is tough. Okay. Alright. Okay. Man. Oh man. You don't get those perfect parries, and all of a sudden it goes downhill very fast since you can't do any normal parries. Holy shit, dude. It's like it steamrolls. You steamroll them really hard, or they steamroll you really hard if you miss the timing. Suddenly you can just be dead. Time to liberate this place? Not yet. Kill 3 enemies with a longbow.
I think kickstand bounced.
There's blood going.
You know, people get a little glimpse into how angry I actually am underneath. A little glimpse under the surface. But yeah, just anybody, if you're still watching, like, just know you're not the only one with issues or with problems or with bad thoughts or anything like that. The only thing that separates people is kind of, you know, what they choose to focus
I
on.
did that.
I see a lot of happy people, or, you know, I'll talk to like people who seem to be happy, and I just kind of look at the word choice that they use,
Who's next?
and then it's like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. But yeah, I often Are you still here?
Oh, this poor unsuspecting soul.
But I kind of die a little bit inside every time, like today when I was watching that Pro-Co video, and that artist said
You guys had on.
that he called up his dad and said, "Hey, Dad, I really want to get this job, and but I need to sit down and draw all day, every day until I can like get this job. So in order for me to do that, I won't be able to work. I need you to pay my bills for me."
He gave up.
And he said that his dad was just like, "Okay." And it's like, oh my, like part of me just, I like I can get angry and break the TV, or I could just drop to my knees and cry, cause it's like, fuck. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has someone in their life to just say okay.
Oh dear.
You know.
What shall I play for this one? Calm him down. My mother taught me the song doesn't need to be.
The armor is working. Doing its thing. Definitely fun and different.
So it's like I recognize that too when I see people doing that. And it's like, see, that's what separates me from him. He was able to get the job because he got the support. You know, like, let's say that would be the support I would need. Let's say I'm shooting for a job right now. I want to draw for Marvel. I want to draw for Image. I want to do, you know, draw for DC. Give me the smallest title that no one gives a shit about, and pay me the smallest amount that you can pay me. That, you know, I would still need to have to present work to them. And it's like, what I would need to do in order to present that caliber of work to them, it'd be like, I can't have a job because I need to put all my time into a portfolio.
And said, peace doesn't always come quietly. I don't think I've ever misunderstood
So
what she meant.
I can choose to be bitter that, you know, some people do have support while I don't. But there's also a lot of other people who don't have support, just like me. And then you hear about those stories about the people who never got support and they all did it on their own, and it's like, fuck. Like, that's what I need to do. Since I don't have the support, I need to do it all on my own, and then you go and you do it. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. Like, on the stream and shit. It's like going to do the shit on my own. I got a shit fucking job. I've had nothing but shit jobs that have never done anything but burden me.
It's good, Chad. I like that one. It's good.
You know,
It's actually good. You get some
working for a bunch of ungrateful people who treat you like shit. And it's like, I don't even want to be here.
Gotta loot this town. Seem important.
But I need to be here so that I don't end up homeless. Because if I'm homeless on the street, like, my best hope would end up being like one of those homeless guys you see on like someone's social media video of like, look what this guy painted on the corner. And it's like some guy who mastered how to paint a skyline in 5 seconds.
Can I talk to you or what? I have to speak to your ass?
But he never, but that's like, that would be his 15 minutes in the limelight. Is like, oh yeah, you got that one social media video that wasn't even yours because it was on someone else's post. And people are all marveled at you.
I'll see what I can do.
But no one knows who you are, and you didn't get the job out of it. And those people moved on and made 1,000 other videos while you're just sitting there painting skylines. And, you know, can barely make enough to get that crack rock. And it's like, okay. Like, yeah, don't want to be homeless.
So what area are we in right now? We're like right in the middle.
So it's like, okay, I'll get that job so I'm not that homeless guy.
This game is fucking amazing, and I'm ingrained and engrossed all over again.
Oh, this is the end of his video. Cool. Let me put something else on. Alien Fire Team. So it's like, okay, now I got this job, this dead end job, just enough to make ends meet. And then I still have to sleep. So after I work 8 hours and I sleep 8 hours, I have, 8 hours left in the day. 1 to exercise to get all the anger out. Eat. And then stream. And just pray to God that the stream is something special enough that one day, and one day meaning like sooner rather than later, enough people believe in me where they're like, oh, I'll support this guy. He has a $1 tier on his Patreon. I can give him $1 a month. And then it's like stated real clearly on my Patreon, like, hey, $1,400 a month is my goal. If I can get $1,400, I could do this full time. At bare minimum, you know, eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches and shit.
What did I miss at the Xbox event?
But I could put more, you know, I could quit that 8-hour job.
I'm assuming.
And now that's 16 hours that I get to dedicate to art, exercise, and eating rather than 8.
I heard the one thing that was announced.
And then once I could do that, I can like double or triple my output as far as like me working on these prop studies and environments and these characters. But that's only if people believe in me enough. I don't know how long it takes. I mean, I'm turning 33 this year. If it takes 10 years, let's say,
There is going to be Jeff Keighley's big
I'm gonna be in my 40s.
Gamescom event that's going to be happening, I think, in the next like 12 hours.
And
Isn't it like?
yeah, it's just another depressing thought. Another one of those thoughts that makes me sad.
I
That
got a rustle in my jimmies.
I'm gonna be that old.
Some stuff will be announced there.
And mind you, that's not even like, oh, like dating and having like a significant other who can help with the bills and things like that. Like I don't even have that.
We have a pretty good idea. So 11 a.m. Pacific. Okay, I'll be there for that, chat. I will be there for that.
So it's like,
Stuff to talk about.
yeah, I can't even afford to go out to meet people. You know what I mean? No one wants to meet the lonely guy who's drinking water. No one's like, oh yeah, that lonely guy who's drinking water over there. That's who I want to spend my life with.
My wife is a Leo. My daughter is a Leo. They're all born. My mom is a Leo. They're all born in the same month and like within a week of each other.
You know.
So yes, I've been doing nothing but like birthday celebrations for the past like month. Leo mains, yes, my whole family is Leo mains, and I'm a Libra, so I'm like, jeez, I'm trying to balance everything. Check this out. I got this shirt from something. What is the shirt from? This is actually an official sponsor shirt. Cavity Colors. This is not a sponsor either, right? Just telling you what I'm looking at. But I saw this art on this shirt, and I was like, holy fuck. Yes. Yes, me likey. I was going to wear this for this stream, but I had my other shirt that I was wearing someplace else. Anyway. Damn it, because we might actually beat this game tonight. Damn it. What are your initial impressions last night with Firearms Elite? I really like it. Actually. I ended up downloading it for PC, so I now own it on 2 platforms. So, yeah. I already got Simmons in the Discord. Let me see if he's around. I'm going to unmute myself in the Discord. And I'll tell Kenny or Steve, see if they want to play.
I guess the difference between the 8 hours of working on something and 16 also just means that I get to actually making the manga a lot faster. All this is still just the studies and concepts of the overall story, which is already kind of told.
Hang on.
I'm at the point where now I'm just visually developing everything. And it's like, I don't know how much people care about Viz Dev. You know, me personally, I'm the guy who watches all the extra features on Blu-rays and stuff like that. I love the behind the scenes stuff.
Answer is
So when I put these videos out here, it's like, man, I hope people love this shit as much as I do, because I mean, if I only have 8 hours to do it, or not, you know, if I only have 8 hours to live life,
a whole bunch of it.
and I have to exercise, eat, and
Do you
stream,
know how long he's been doing it for?
It's like,
but yeah, to answer your question,
man.
no, this is definitely, I am not sponsored to play this game. I just really like it. I don't play
Like,
many
it's gonna be a long go.
games in general. But
Oh, shit, what time is it?
Naraka Simmons, they turn you on. That like battle royale Naraka Blade Point, like the combat.
Oh, he was playing Guilty earlier. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, no, he was asking because he's like super into aliens too. He's like, dude, I got engineer all buffed out now, so he's like, I want to get back in.
Yeah. Well, there's still 2 levels you have to do.
Yeah. So two missions in the Promethean level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we can probably blast through those.
So, yeah.
We can see if like Cobra's on or anybody like that, or Steve's on.
I think Al and Chris.
Yeah, it just sucks.
One of the 2 is probably.
You know, the older I got, the more I realized how
Muffin Man's on. Bacon Nation is on. Let's see what he's playing. Bacon, are you in the chat? Chris and Al.
how much support it would have required for me to do
I think it's really fun.
what I want to
Oh,
do.
my hair. Wait, VF5 Ultimate got an update today?
What?
Updates? Very.
You know, and how much of my life I didn't live going in the direction
Kind of updates.
that I probably would have needed to go
Yeah, what kind of update?
in order to be able to be in that position.
Well, no, you see on Twitter. Wait.
You know, like I didn't know other artists growing up. I didn't meet another artist until I was in 9th grade. At that point, I had already been drawing for 7 years and was the only artist that people would ever go to get something drawn. And I met this kid who does inks, and I was only doing pencils at that time, back in 9th grade.
Doing lobby match settings. Oh, and there is a tournament mode. They put in a tournament mode to the game.
Ace.
Cool. Wonder if that's more functional than Tekken's tournament mode.
And then I didn't meet other artists after that until
To Namco.
I went to college. I went to, you know, Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. The school doesn't exist anymore because it just took everyone's money and ran. Promised everyone a 96% chance to get a job in the industry. Me getting a bachelor's degree in animation made me think, oh, 96% chance that I'll get a job in animation. I'll be set. You know, and I signed up back when I was like 16 years old or less. Like when I was like mad young, still in high school, I think.
It'll ruin fighting games for you
So, because they had sent scouts out to schools, to public schools, to go get people. So I signed up that way. And, you know, me and my family thinking it was all good. And it was just this last-ditch effort for the school to make as much money as it can and promise all these kids something that doesn't exist. And now the school doesn't exist anymore because it was unsuccessful. It didn't deliver. And all these kids, including myself, have to pay off the student loans. Now, I've paid off my student loans ever since then. Just, you know, it took a decade, and it took all my money, and it took a lot of years of starving and not eating in order to pay off that debt. But I did it, and I still have no job. You know, never got an animation job, never got an animation opportunity. You know, can't even talk to these companies.
Shut up, Bacon.
You know, I go to the conventions, I meet the professionals, I show the portfolio, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's great. We'll talk." And then you go to talk after the convention,
But like,
and they don't exist anymore. It's like, what? What? I thought we were gonna talk.
Because dude, Tekken's foundation is
It's
from like
like, so the school was
2014.
phony. The
yeah,
It's super old.
professionals are busy.
7 came out in like 2015.
Any sort of opportunity that it does exist out there is like, oh yeah, you have to pay us money in order, you know, there's like this pay to play situation,
This is a long fucking time.
you know, and you know, to someone like me, it sounds like college all over again. It's like, oh,
2017. 2015. Yeah, wasn't it like late 2015? Anyway. I was watching,
it's like, oh, so you're just another empty promise. Like that's what those things look like to me. To like go to another school that's like, you know, we'll teach you,
what was it? Did they look
and you're gonna meet people, and this is, and it was like, yeah, I did that already, and I was taught, and I met people. And, you know, a long time ago on this stream, I talked about how all those kids that I went to school with, animation students who don't even animate, only one of us ever got through to the industry. And people who are a lot more talented than I am never got anywhere. And a lot of them are like photographers now, which is disappointing because it's like,
mobility actually was drastically changed.
it's like, yo, aren't like you could have took photography school or photography classes if you wanted to be a photographer. So it's like, I know that they didn't want to be photographers.
Somebody will be able to clear this shit up for me. Now, before pre-faded retribution. Oh, Kenny's hopping on nice. Kenny's
But that's what they all do because they are just as unsuccessful as I am. And it would seem 96% of the people didn't get jobs in their industry, maybe even more so, from that school. And nobody can do anything about it. School went under, disappeared, and now I get to go around applying to jobs, telling them, oh yeah, I went to this school, and you can't even find it anymore. So what good is a degree? You know, they say degrees aren't worth anything at all anyways, and that you don't need a degree to get a job, which is true.
2 years after Street Fighter.
So how?
Good Lord. At least.
So I wonder what a degree to a school that doesn't exist, what kind of value does that carry?
2024 at the very earliest. Jeez.
Like little to none type shit, I guess.
At least.
So you think an 8 will not be, hey, take a lot of what already kind of exists and 7 and just update it. It's going to be.
My guess is that they'll do what they always do, right? They're going to try to reinvent the formula, but there'll be a lot of reused assets because that's what all Tekkens do, for sure. Some
more negative thoughts that linger in my head every single day is like relationship stuff. You know, the relationships that I've had over the years and how I fucked a lot of them up.
Anywhere before 2025.
And, you know, I'm not the only one to blame, but certainly I am to blame for some stuff. Most of the stuff, I'm sure.
Okay, I got you guys.
And,
we can get through these missions that you can get some levels, and I already...
you know, I think back at how I've only had 2 girls in my life that ever, like, supported me as the artist. Gave me that support that, you know, I didn't get from my dad. You know, support me further than my mom could when I was a kid, you know, with just like loose leaf sheets of paper. Like they like only 2 relationships I ever had that like had me feel like that feeling of like I'm living as an artist, even though I had a job in both cases. The first girl, you know, not to get morbid, but the first girl died back when I was in high school. It's fucking crazy.
a game series and shit.
and freak accident stuff.
It's not that
And
he's not self-aware, right?
so that was kind of like life really ripping that sort of feeling away from me.
Eventually found more of its own identity and then eclipsed virtual.
And then the other one,
doing that stuff, but better in many ways.
the other one,
So that's not actually. I don't even. I am in the fucking. I'm in the boat where like a fight
just
game
ran
is
off
something that's, like,
for a more
and better and more fun
monetary,
than
ran off for more monetary gain. Like she basically just left me
the
because,
genre should
you know,
evolve, you know?
I think we should be
her baby's father had a
Yeah, we should get
ran into a fat check by some means.
we should get on her on his bar.
And she just like, all right, I'm going with him because he has money, which, you know, being a starving artist at the time, because that would have been, you know, almost a decade ago. You know, I was in probably my early to mid 20s at that time, probably mid 20s. So, you know, maybe 5 years ago or so. And yeah, that was a kick in the gut to just be like, oh, I'm broke, like I'm poor, like I got the support, but love don't matter here. Yeah, just, you know, I got a lot of things that make me mad and upset, but sometimes you just gotta like shrug your shoulders, say that's life, say that it's gonna get better, pray that it does, prepare for it not to, and keep going and keep moving on.
Right? It is just like the protein dark chocolate
you know,
is insanely fucking good. I'm like, this is just a chocolate milk.
See you, Kickstand.
So he has a Mercedes S-Class.
Yeah, this is gonna be the end of this stream. This one was a shit show because I had the volume on high. And yeah, I don't like to hear about people saying that they're in a bad place. It's like, man, if you're on Twitch, you're not in a bad place. Like if you're capable of being on Twitch and you can afford to watch people, you know, you have the time to sit there and watch people, like it ain't all that bad. So it's like, I'm sure you have something good to focus on. So, you know, and that's what I do. So, you know, all the badness out there, don't let that shit define you. Don't let it hold you back or hold you down or anything else like that. It almost sounds like I'm talking to myself. I am talking to myself at this point. Kickstand left. But, I mean, this is meant to be spoken to anybody listening who's just like, oh, man, feeling just like me, where it's like kind of a hopeless, desperate situation. Hopefully you're making moves to try to get yourself out of that, despite, you know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but you know, you got, I mean, honestly, I don't know, because I don't have that experience of it working out, you know, with my family, with my relationships, with my artwork. It's like my relationship with my art is great, but my art's relationship with the world, not so much at the moment. And that's what I do these streams for, is to try to change that. I've worked for a lot of people over the years in my life, and you know, I don't think it makes me a bad person to want to be able to make a living off of this and to get the opportunity that just seems like nobody's willing to give me. So if you're in that same boat of like, man, I'm doing everything I can and it just doesn't seem enough, like I don't really have the answers, because I'm still right in the middle of it all too. If one day all this pans out, then that's going to be the story. I fucking broke through the mold. But yeah, that, you know, this stream took a turn. I was just gonna draw some shit, and yeah, kickstand, shout out to you. Came in not feeling great, but yeah, man, hopefully just sitting there thinking about more positive things helps. That's what I try to do. Um, like I'm with all this firearm study, I'm hoping to understand these functions, these top uh, what invention, this invention that's like peaked, and understanding these things. That way I can kind of create my own for this little fantasy world that I'm working on. But anyways, that would be the positive thought, that I'm not just drawing all this stuff for no reason. Go to my website, you can see a bunch of my art, and all of it's cool and dope. I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, none of it ever amounted to anything, you know. So hopefully this stuff does amount to something. That's all. It's gonna be the end of this stream. I'm kind of running out of time. How long have I been streaming here? Where where are we at? It's got to be an hour, right? Yeah, just over an hour. So yeah, man, don't get lost in the dark. That's what I did. I had to crawl out of that, but you know, I got out of the dark, and now I, found the light, and I'm mad lonely in the light. So, anyways, I'm G Mr. Drew at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. I'm trying to get better on Twitter, even though nobody follows me or interacts with me at all on there. I'm gonna try to do more on posting and keeping people posted, so that way it is actually a channel that does something, and maybe it will grow into something that people can actually refer to and be like, oh, okay, he's not streaming today because of this, or something like that. And yeah, gmrdrew.art, my website. Check it out. There's a bunch of work in there. I'm sure, merch store links and everything else like that. And yeah, man, if you like all this stuff that you see here, if you're into traditional digital art, kind of do everything: animation, illustration, graphic design. So if all those things sound cool to you or up your alley, then I'm right there with you. And you can contact me through there, man. Other than that, I want to thank everyone for watching this. I hope this didn't bring you down too much. Hopefully it's kind of a breath of fresh air, or something to see and know other people are also going through it, and that, we're all in it together. Hopefully that brings a little bit of light to the situation, that you're not alone. And yeah, that's it, man. I love y'all. Peace.